So you want to learn how to make that, right? Then watch the video. That was pretty solid. That was a good intro. Nice and simple. The camera's still on? All right, guys, let's begin this process. So first you're going to make a layer group. This is GIMP, by the way. The program we use is called GIMP. A frame group number 1 is what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to drag, let me correct that there. Yeah. Frame, not fame. I'm going to drag frame number 1 into that group just so that I have my frames separated in a way that I can easily preview them. I'm going to copy that, make frame group number 2. And I'm going to put this mouth here for like him inhaling, you know, like, right? So that's the inhaling mouth basically. And you can download these mouths. These are customized / edited Adobe stock mouths. Okay, so I'll leave the link in the description so you can download either the original Adobe ones, which don't have lips, or the ones that I edited, which I added the lips, because I felt like lips looked more realistic for 1/6 scale figures, right? It's still kind of cartoony, but is, I think, better than not having any lips at all. And now we're gonna start actually animating the breathing in and out. So when you breathe in and out, right, basically your shoulders move up and down. So that's what we're gonna be animating. So this is the cage transform tool. And I'm just kind of outlining his shoulder / upper arm and making a selection, which I am then going to slowly, not slowly, but like gently move these notches to basically expand his shoulder, make it move a little bit, as you see happening there. And I'm gonna do this for both shoulders, but I'm gonna do one at a time. Although I guess you could in theory do both at once. I hadn't thought of that. I usually do like one part at a time, but you see right there, when I turn the layer on and off, his shoulder moves up a bit when he breathes in, right? And now we're gonna do the other shoulder as well. Just click to connect these dots and outline the area you want to animate. And this technique, I actually learned about this, or I guess discovered this technique many years ago when I used to do like Dragon Ball animations. I don't know how I thought of it, but I realized that with the cage transform, you can basically make your figures like expand and grow and stuff like that. And so I used it for breathing back then, and I use it for breathing now because I think it looks so great, honestly. It looks very realistic, you know? Now, if you move it too much, then you will begin to see flaws like pixelation, or you see that looks very nice, right? It looks very realistic there. But if you move the notches too much, then the pixels are going to start to look distorted and stuff. So you got to move it very gently and be very careful not to move them more than would keep the nice aesthetic, right? And now I'm doing frame 3. I just copied that layer group, copied number 2 and made number 3. And I'm going to do the same thing for number 3. So I'm basically going to do 3 frames with him breathing in, 3 frames with him breathing out. And well, actually no. So you're going to have the first frame where his mouth is closed, then 3 frames breathing in, 3 frames breathing out, and then the original frame with the mouth for breathing out. You'll see what I mean. But this is basically the inhalation part, the breathing in part that I'm doing right now. I'm just doing both shoulders for frame group or frame number 3. And I highly recommend to separate your frames into layer groups so that you can easily preview them, export them when you need to, all of that stuff. And GIMP is of course completely free. You could use Photoshop probably to do something similar. I'm not sure what the tool in Photoshop will be called to do this, but I'm sure Photoshop could do something like this as well. And here we go. This is the second frame with him breathing in, and that looks pretty solid as well, right? And then I'm going to copy this and do frame number 4. Okay, number 4. And it's going to be basically the same thing. So just 3 frames breathing in, and same as before, just click wherever you want on that shoulder. I'm actually saving there That's why it's loading, just saving your progress. I recommend saving quite often with GIMP because it can crash, as most programs do. But yeah, just rinse and repeat. Make as many frames as you want. I usually do 3. Like for example, when I do blinks, like figures blinking, I usually do 2 frames per blink. But yeah, so same thing. And you want to be careful at certain areas, like that point right there. You see how, am I going to zoom in or what? But if you look at his left shoulder there, it looks a bit, the pixels look a bit off at the corner there. So that's why I undid it to redo it again, because you want it to look smooth, natural, and realistic with as little imperfections as possible. And of course, the highest possibility is no imperfections at all, because you want it to just look realistic and good. So that's why I had to redo this one, because I wasn't happy with how it turned out originally. But yeah, just gently move those notches to expand his shoulder and make it look like he's inhaling, right? That's the last one. And then press enter. And now if you look at it, yeah, that looks pretty solid, okay? And this, of course, this is the same way that I did the horse chewing. If anyone has seen my how to make your action figures blink video, I think I showed an animation of a horse chewing there. That's actually part of a brief part of scene 1 for episode 1 of God's Last King. And I used this same technique, this cage transform tool in GIMP to do that. And yeah, so this can be used for many different things. For example, like, let's say you have your action figures flexing their muscles or something. You could actually use this tool to make their muscles look bigger and make it look like they're flexing and stuff, you know? You can use it to animate chewing, sniffling. For example, in the video I released, Akira's father prepares him, a clip from episode 1 of God's Last King. When the little boy sniffles when he's crying, that is actually achieved using the same cage transform tool. And I don't actually need a frame number 5, well, at least not as a different layer group. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to delete that, but I'm just kind of checking to make sure that it looks good, right? And I think I'm pretty happy how it looks. So let me just delete this frame group number 5, right? I'm pretty sure I do. Right click that. Right, it's gone, okay. All right, and now this is the exhaling. So for the exhaling, I'm using a different mouth, more of a O-shaped kind of mouth, but I'm gonna expand it to cover his mouth under there. Now you could, of course, like hide his other mouth with like the paintbrush or the clone tool or copy and pasting his skin tone and stuff, but I am trying to work more quickly. I'm basically trying to, how do we say, optimize my work time. Basically trying to achieve a good effect with less editing needed on my part. Work smarter, not harder kind of thing, because I do want to move quickly with my editing of videos and graphic design and all that stuff, whilst of course not losing quality as a result. And I will say, I do think it looks a bit better if you leave the mouth in like an O shape, but hide his lips under there. But it is also more time consuming, and I would like to get episode 1 released sooner rather than later. So I'm thinking that every bit of time saved would be valuable. You know, I don't want people to wait too long to see the episode, and I'd like to just get it out more quickly, without losing quality, you know? But yeah, so I'm basically now gonna just do every layer that I've animated already with his mouth inhaling. I'm now going to put the exhaling mouth on there. And what I'm going to end up doing is basically doing the reverse order to have his shoulders get smaller rather than get bigger, to show him exhaling, as you saw in the preview animation at the beginning of the video, of course. So yeah, guys, that is how to achieve the animation you see on the screen right now. Something I think you could do to increase the realism is perhaps increase the size of his mouth and decrease the size of his mouth each frame to make it look like he's opening his mouth and closing his mouth in a more natural way. But I think this looks good enough for the purpose of a tutorial. If anyone wants to follow along with this tutorial and like perhaps, try doing this yourself, you can totally send it to me on Facebook if you want feedback or tips and advice and stuff, and I'll help you out how I can. Well guys, I hope you found that tutorial helpful. If you did and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video and all that good stuff. There's also a Facebook page you can follow to stay up to date on behind the scenes progress, upcoming videos, see me doing like animations and wallpapers, a whole bunch of stuff. I made an Instagram recently because I started making these they were originally photos, but I'm also thinking about doing YouTube shorts of like before and after, mainly with green screen because I find it very satisfying to see and other people may enjoy it too, so why not? So there's also an Instagram. There's a GoFundMe page for anyone who wants to donate to help fund the animated project God's Last King. And what else is there? Yes, I am also a travel agent. So if any of you are planning to travel anytime in the future, feel free to reach out. It is completely free. I'm not paid out of your pocket. I'm paid by the companies we book with. And in fact, I'll probably save you a lot of money because I can get major discounts, rewards, benefits, a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support. Hopefully, if this channel can get big enough, I can earn revenue from it. And if it were to get even bigger than that, perhaps I could actually earn a living just animating, producing my animated series, and doing other stuff you guys want to see. But thank you for all the support. Thanks for watching. Peace.